Okay, moment of truth. So the car plugs are changed, everything looks all right. So let's go for a drive and return the tools to GT Tuners. Akshay, thank you very much again. You've saved my life innumerable times because of having the right tools available for me. And once again, you have done the same. So I'm gonna turn off auto start stop and let the car run. Once the engine oil temperature reaches about 90, then we'll push the car a bit and see how she is behaving. From the onset itself, the car seems a lot quieter, and for obvious reasons, because the plugs were in such a bad shape that obviously there was a lot of misfires happening. That should have stopped by now. That will automatically make the car feel a lot livelier, and hopefully we'll get some performance and mileage back from this. Not that this car gives bad mileage, even it's a 2-liter 190 horsepower engine, so it's not bad. It's got decent torque, it's got decent power. Nothing to write home about. It's heavy also, so that power to weight kind of kills the whole fun of it. But yeah, it can slide its rear if you drive it too aggressively. Being a rear wheel drive, it's pretty much what you expect it to be. A lot of good straight line performance from the get-go. You can do some nice burnouts in this. But being a luxury line BMW, the suspension is awful. I mean, it's god awful. It's all over the place. It has really no road holding, or any kind of sporty driving in this car will throw the car off balance, and as a result you'll freak out, or your tail will slide out, or ESC will kick in, so on and so forth. Yeah. ESC reminds me, I always drive it on TTC on. So far so good. The engine is a lot smoother. It's definitely driving better with the new plugs. We recently had a water pump leak in this car, which we got fixed again on GT Tuners, and they did a good job of it. They saved me a lot of money because the water pump was working fine. It was the seal of the water pump which BMW had put in when they had fixed this engine, which was leaking. They hadn't cleaned off the old seal properly and put in the new seal over the old seal, so that developed a leak, and it was leaking all the coolant out of it in the high pressure mode and giving me issues. Fortunately, the lockdown happened and I didn't have to drive out too much, so that kind of helped my senses in this car. So whenever I had to drive out, just carry a bottle of water and top up the coolant if it required. So that has been fixed now. The spark plugs are also done. The car did go through a full service. Yeah, those rattles don't mind. That's coming from the tools that are in the car still. So I'm gonna go to Akshay's place and return his tools. Yeah, almost at 90 degrees. In the next straight I should be able to push the car. This car does have the Miltec catback exhaust, so that's a fun exhaust to hear. Let's pull the window down. Yeah, fun little exhaust. Unlike the Skodas, the oil temperature in the BMW seems to go up a lot faster, because the Skoda Volkswagen cars fine from my house till this point, the oil temperatures barely heat up, whereas in this car it's already up to temperature. So crap on the old plugs has been cleaned off, and it looks to have sorted my misfire issue as well. This car is mostly all show and no go, even though it sounds like it's going 120 kilometers an hour, it's only going 60. So a friend of mine, Archit, he had nicknamed this car Thoka because it feels like it's going fast, but it isn't actually. Oh yeah, it does that. Pops and bangs. Oh, this suspension is just god awful. Baby. So this car has the ZF8HP gearbox, the high performance gearbox apparently. And you have to put it in manual mode for it to respond. I mean, it responds pretty well in manual mode. Obviously, there is no comparison between a ZF 8-speed and a DSG. A DSG is any day faster. The 250, DQ250 on the old Octavia RS and the other cars was slightly slower, but still faster than this gearbox in D. And the DQ200 was any day lightning fast compared to this one, and so is the new DQ381, which is on the 245, and the Tiguan, that's also much faster. It's like the gearbox has a mind of its own in this one, and generally because of the way torque converter gearbox is designed, it can never shift as fast as a DSG. So far so good, the car is responding well, engine oil is up to temperature, and we are stuck in a bit of a traffic jam, so obviously people don't want to go in the right lanes. Let's see. Here's the difference that I feel is there between a ZF and a DSG in terms of, forget the technology, just performance. I press upshift, it takes a while to happen. It's not instantaneous. In a DSG, you press the pedal up, it'll go up instantly. In this one, press it up, it'll think and then go up. There's a very, very noticeable delay. And this is in, if I put it into, I put it into D, and then let's put it in sports mode, right? Post shifting. I'm in third gear, I want to go up one gear. Press the button, relay that. Downshifts are a little faster than the upshift, but the upshifts just kill it because you keep on rocking back and forward because you press the pedal, you expect the gear to change, and the gear does not change. There is a noticeable lag between when you press the pedal and the gear shifting, or even when you're in D or S. When you're accelerating and suddenly, and when the gear shift is coming and when the gear engages, that you cannot, that is the feeling that a DSG will never give you. So that lag is what actually kills the ZF for me. Now if you have crazy amount of power in a V8 and all, where these shifts don't matter to you, that's okay. But when you're in a tiny engine car and the shifts matter to you, dude, what the fuck? Yeah. So there's a lag. That lag is what irritates me, and that's what kind of turns me off ZFs. I mean, that lag will always be there because of the way this gearbox is engineered and designed. It's a it's a viscous coupling gearbox, so there will always be a lag between the drive gears, the flywheel spinning up, and that torque to be transmitted through the viscous coupling to your gearboxes, to the gears. And that's why no matter what people say, a ZF will never be as fast as a DSG. So far so good. Engine oil temperatures are okay, thank God for that. Yeah. I mean, don't take me wrong, this car isn't slow, it's quite fast. I mean, it's decently fast for a 2.5 ton car, but there's a cost of that speed, and that's fuel efficiency, and it's terrible on fuel efficiency. And this car needs only 10 octane to run, so you can't run it on regular gas, otherwise the engine starts knocking like crazy. So police checkposts, what are we doing here? Oh, policemen are doing all kinds of funny stuff. Okay, they're doing the job, can't blame them. Yeah, let's go back into drive, the regular comfort mode, put the gearbox in drive and cruise. When I'm cruising in this car, particularly with the coasting function that's built into the gearbox, it's very efficient. I mean, I use this car for daily commute from Delhi to Gurgaon for my office, and if you drive it like slowly like I am right now, 10, 11 easy on 99 or even 97 octane. So that way it's very good, and it's very comfortable too. I mean, suspension is very soft, so you're like literally on floating. And you know, in rolling traffic at about, how much am I at? I'm at about 35, 40 kilometers an hour. I am getting 30 kilometers per liter as per the mileage thing. You know that, yeah, not bad. But it desperately needs the suspension, you know. I still haven't decided whether I'm going to keep this car or trade it in at the end of its lease period, which is January. So if I do end up keeping it, I'll have to get a suspension for it, because the stock suspension, even though it's very nice and cushy, it just does not inspire even a single percentage of confidence in the driver when driving aggressively. When you're cruising along like I am right now, no complaints, it works very well. But any kind of aggressive driving and you're end up spraying some very colorful abusers at this car. And that's been the thing since day one. I mean, E90s had brilliant suspension, F30s, the 328i and the new 330i, they also have pretty decent suspension, but the luxury lines were awful. It's god awful suspension this car has. So once I take this U-turn, we should be able to do one more pull, and that'll be the end of the video. The things that need to be done on this car right now are, you need new tires. The tires are about 15-20,000 kilometers old, have seen 2 or 3 track days, and they're dying. So new tires. Maybe if I do end up keeping this car at the end of the year, I will change the rims on it. If not, new car. So let me know what you guys think. Enjoy. Sport Plus, sports mode, let's pull. this same stretch does about 170. You can get an idea how slow this car is. I mean, it's not slow, but it's slower than what I'm used to. And for a BMW, that's a sad thing.